Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing a very exciting unboxing video for Metal Gear Solid Integral Edition. This is a game I have been massively looking forward to. As a huge fan of the Metal Gear franchise, I am really anxious to see how they're able to adapt a lot of these ideas and a lot of the gameplay and a lot of the story into a board game format. And so I'm excited to do this first impression, this first kind of reaction to what's inside the box before I actually start getting into playing it. And actually, where did that box go? Where did it sneak off to?
Just a box.
All right, now that we have tracked down our sneaky box, we can get on with the actual unboxing here. This is the Integral Edition, so it's gonna have the Metal Gear Rex miniature as well as the graphic novel, so we'll take a look at that. But look at this striking cover, this kind of like red text on white background, very reminiscent of the PlayStation 1 CD, which I love that they're being kind of faithful to that. You can see the side of the box here with Snake. It's the same image on all sides of the box. And on the back here, we got a little bit of a blurb about 14 mission campaign, retelling the whole Shadow Moses incident from Metal Gear Solid 1. So I will say that I am particularly excited for this game. I know it's kind of been a long journey to finally get it, but to say that Metal Gear Solid is one of the most formative pieces of media kind of throughout my life is probably putting it lightly. So to finally see it in a board game format, I am really excited. Obviously, I've been very big into the video games for a long time, and I'm really curious to see how they're able to adapt a lot of kind of Metal Gear into a board game. So much of it is based on kind of fourth wall breaking, a lot of kind of like meta narrative that I don't know how you could do in a board game. So I'm curious to see how ambitious this is going to be in those regards. So here we got a whole bunch of punch boards here. We have a little blurb about the Integral Edition. So, all right, let's start looking at some of these punch boards here. So a good amount of tokens, and we'll kind of break them down. Obviously, I kind of know the gist of how the game plays, but a lot of it's going to be speculation. So we got some little death, maybe stun tokens up here. We got some like hacking things, like dice rolling. I'm guessing that's for the Otacon moves. We got some Gray Fox tokens, a whole bunch of other tokens. We got the tank here, so I don't think there's a miniature for the tank. This is going to be the tile you'll use for that boss fight, and the back sides of those. On the second board, it looks like we have a couple of the character tokens, some ammo stuff, grenades, elevators, a couple more things, claymores, rope, more items, cameras. And on the last punch board, it looks like, yeah, we have more of the same, more of these little character tokens, just more trackers, more of these cameras, and it looks like a little elevator maybe, and just some more of these tiles. So I'm sure these are all going to be specific to missions as they come up. I'll just kind of put those boards off to the side, and so here we have the stack of map tiles. But you can see we got the cargo dock, so for our first mission, and it looks like this is maybe part of the heliport from the second once you come out of the elevator. Oh, cool, we got the blast furnace, so we're gonna have to heat up some key cards in that room. We have the laboratory. We know what goes on here. We're gonna have our showdown with old Gray Fox in this room. That's really cool to see. These look so like faithful, by the way. Like the actual kind of graphics and however they kind of show these images, it feels very PlayStation 1-esque. It's hard to describe, but it just feels like it comes through really well. We got a couple more here. Oh, we got the interrogation room. So I am curious to see how they're going to adapt the interrogation and being trapped in the cell in a board game setting. That's always kind of a cool part in the game because it is such a kind of breaks the flow of the game so much. I don't know how you're going to do that in a board game, but we're going to find out. We got the holding cells. You're going to find your old DARPA chief friend there, and the room here for the encounter. We fight those enemies. That's going to be cool. We got some armories on the back. Okay. So you can see here we have a whole bunch of trees for our Sniper Wolf boss fight. So I'm guessing, yeah, Sniper Wolf, you see these kind of like connect, and these will form a bigger map. So that looks really cool. Here we have the warehouse. This looks like, yep, you can see the ravens here. So this is where we'll have our Vulcan Raven fight. You can see they connect. We have the nuke building here, and on the back we have the Metal Gear platform. So that's where we're gonna have our showdown with Rex. I'm guessing, yeah, you can see the Metal Gear Platform 2. It'll form the Rex hangar. Very cool. nuke building, the actual kind of missile silo nuke building. Oh, the commander's room. Oh man, to see how they're going to do Psycho Mantis in the board game is so exciting. You can see we have our boss room here for him. So that is all the map tiles, really hitting a lot of the main like set pieces in the first game. Really cool to see them brought to life, and they look really, really good. Okay, so we have a mess of books here. So let's go ahead and get these open. And it looks like we have a red, a green, a red and a white book. So the actual red book is going to be the Shadow Moses campaign. And so, oh, this is the graphic novel. This is the graphic novel here. Okay. Yeah, you can see it's recreating the opening, the whole scuba diving set piece. And okay, then it goes into stage 1 and all the different stages. Oh, but the interludes have this extra kind of art and little like graphic novel in between. Really, really cool. So I'm guessing that's the difference. If you have the standard edition, I'm guessing all of this is left out. But come on, I mean, Metal Gear, like 90% of Metal Gear is all about the story, right? Like that's where I get a lot of the enjoyment from. So seeing it all kind of brought in a comic book format like this is so cool. Oh man, Ocelot getting his hand cut off. Oh, this is so stinking cool, guys. Okay, so that's our storybook. And then, oh, there are some more books down here. In here we have the rule book. So this is more your core rule book going over the actual mechanics of the game. Here we have the codex. Okay, I love to see this. So here we have a whole bunch of different conversations. I'm guessing there'll be different prompts at different points in the game of kind of where you're supposed to read these. But you can see they're all kind of like color-coded for each of the different characters. And then the text is colored so you kind of know who's speaking. So I'll be able to do my my best Campbell impression while I'm reading through this. And it looks on the back here, we have a little rule summary. So when you're playing with this, you got to pull up the codec book real quick. It's nice that there's a little rule summary on the background. And then here we have the VR missions. So if you're not interested in the campaign for whatever reason, I mean, if you're playing a Metal Gear game, I can't imagine why you wouldn't be interested in it. But the VR missions kind of offer a way to play it standalone. So if you have no interest in going through the whole like storyline, you can just bust these out, and it kind of has specific setup options here. And these can all be played 1 to 4 players, where it has the different player counts here. And all the bosses can also be played as one-off. So I know the story campaign is like variable player count depending on like who appropriately should be there at that point in the game. So it's a little bit weird player count. So it's cool to see that the VR missions here are able to be played at all player counts, which is cool. It looks like we have another few more stray tiles down here. Oh, these all look boss related. So you can see here we have the Ocelot stage with all the little bomb wires around the middle. Shooting the dashed yellow lines will deal damage to Baker. So that's the guy who's tied up in the middle of the room. We have VR01, so I'm guessing this map is just going to be used for VR missions. We have the Hind D, the helicopter, so I'm guessing this is going to be used for that boss fight on top of the radio tower. We have another VR room. And then we have our Metal Gear Rex kind of tile here, but I'm guessing the mini, I see it down there. We won't need to use that guy. And then the comms tower roof. So yeah, this is what's going to be used for the actual Hind D boss fight. So those are our tiles, rule books. What else? So here we have our different actual player boards. So here, this is for the guards to keep track of their different decks. Let's take a look at our different characters. So we have Otacon here, Hal Emmerich. You can see here has all their different actions of what they're going to be able to do in a game. So here we have our boar Frank Jaeger, the cyborg ninja. So it looks like he has a boss side as well as a player side, right? Because you're going to have to fight him at a certain point in the game, but maybe he's able to help you at certain missions as well. We have Meryl here. We got the legendary soldier, Solid Snake. Great little rendition of him. You can see he has his CQC, he's got his combo attacks and everything. Really, really cool. And he's got his little I work alone lone wolf. Really cool. You can see down here there's these different like specialty abilities that are kind of quotes from the game. So that's really cool to see as well. And it looks like the rest of these are going to be bosses. So you can see Ocelot here. We got the tank, the Hind D, being piloted by Liquid, of course. Psycho Mantis, Sniper Wolf, Vulcan Raven, and Is there not a liquid on one of these? On the back of one of these, maybe? Oh, here he is. All right, I got scared for a second. We weren't gonna have a we weren't gonna have a boss fight with liquid, so we got the liquid snake there. Are there more on the back of these? Okay, so the back is like the VR versus the campaign, so they have different sides depending on which side you're playing them on. But okay, cool. So here we got a whole bunch of decks of cards, so different, we got the FAMAS there and the different abilities. I'm not going to bother opening these up. I kind of want to look at them as the game goes on. I don't want to go through all of them. Looks like we have the boss cards. When you actually fight the bosses, there are different ability decks that you're going to go through. You can see at the top we have an Ocelot one there. And then, oh, this is so cool. There's a little memory card that looks like a PlayStation 1 memory card. So like I said before, a lot of like the fourth wall meta jokes that Metal Gear has, this is a good sign that they are kind of playing into it with the PS1 memory card to play this and to save your kind of like mission items and stuff. So we'll take a look at two of the dice here. So the black dice look pretty standard, just six-sided dice. And then the white ones have a exclamation point for the one. So maybe there'll be certain effects that trigger on different exclamation points. And if you're enjoying the video, please consider liking and subscribing to join the channel. I do a lot of unboxings and preview videos and review videos and playthroughs and all sorts of board game content. And if you are looking forward to seeing some more Metal Gear Solid content, be sure to subscribe because I'm really looking forward to doing an in-depth review and maybe some playthrough videos. Let me know what you want to see down below. Anyway, back to our unboxing video. So let's get this out of here and look at some of these miniatures really helping to bring the whole thing to life. All right, let's start on the top here. We have our genome soldiers. So they got a couple different models here. They have these little lines which are going to be used to indicate like what direction they're looking at. So we got that model, and then we have this guy here. Sad to see, it doesn't look like any of them are in those like the white snowy outfit that's kind of iconic from the beginning of the game. But these are a little more versatile. You can use these at any point, so that is really neat. Let's look at these actual characters here. So we have Solid Snake, of course. Very dynamic pose there. He's got the silenced SOCOM there. A lot of nice detail in his sneak suit. Very, very cool. He's got the actual like bases of these are pretty well kind of decorated as well. He's got the cardboard box. He's got a ration down there. That's very neat. We have the one gray piece. Like I said, I think this is going to be used both for the boss fight as well as when he joins you. But this is our Gray Fox, our cyborg ninja, with his HF blade there. Very nice detail on the kind of suit and the cool kind of dynamic pose he has. Very, very nice. Down here we have the rookie Meryl holding the FAMAS and her handgun. Her Desert Eagle, very iconic there. Some nice basing on there. We have our favorite nerd, Hal Emmerich here. He's got his little laptop there, his late 90s laptop, and he is busy hacking. And then our last ally piece, I think this is Meryl in disguise, I'm guessing. I don't know what other ally would be in the game, so this is probably Undercover Meryl. So there's a couple missions where that will, of course, be relevant. All right, so we have the bosses. So these are the ones I am most excited about. If I was going to paint any of these, I think the bosses are the ones that are going to get painted. All right, we have Ocelot here with the Colt Single Action Army, the greatest handgun ever made. I'm really glad they got the, the revolver's in his name, right? You got to get those right, and those look really, really cool. We got Psycho Mantis. So you like dice chucking games, do you? And he's here. He's got his like the busts that are kind of in the room where you fight him in the game. He's got a very cool pose, very imposing. We got Sniper Wolf. If you believe love can bloom on the battlefield, maybe your favorite character. Very cool. I'm really glad they got the actual wolf on there. She's there crouching, really awesome. And then we got the man himself, Liquid Snake, in his glorious coat and his British accent. You gotta love him. And then down here we got, this is a really cool model. We have Vulcan Raven with his huge chain gun thing. Really, really neat. And the last two we got down here are the two boxes. So you can see, got some of these, and on the bottom, you can see some legs poking out. And now we have really the star of the show. We have Metal Gear Rex. This is a beast of a miniature, and it looks like it also has, you can put like a railgun on it. This might be the most complex miniature I've ever seen. All right, so I did double check. So yeah, they're supposed to go on specific sides. So you can see the Metal Gear Rex with his railgun. And then on the other side, this is like anti-missile. Actually, I don't know what this thing is supposed to be. But you see you snap those on, you got your fully realized Metal Gear Rex. This is easily the coolest mini I've ever seen. Honestly, I might just keep this out as like just a figurine to keep. And these little things pop off, so you can also put them back if you want to take them apart. You just pull these right off. So that's pretty easy to do. So there we have it. That is the overall unboxing for Metal Gear Solid. Take a look at the minis, saw some of these books. Everything looks really, really awesome. Like I said, I am an absolute huge fan of the series, especially the first game. Playing that at probably far too of a young age, it leaves a big impression, and I've kind of stuck with it over the years. And this miniature is not sitting the right way. I think he has to go this way. And I'm really excited. I think that the main campaign is kind of best played solo because of that variable player count that it has. So I'm really excited to get that played and kind of do a pretty good in-depth review of the whole game. I'm really excited to see how faithful it's going to be to certain sections of the game that kind of rely on being digital. Things like the Psycho Mantis fight, like him reading your memory card. Like a lot of those are such memorable moments. And I'm curious to see how ambitious this game is going to be to try and actually, like, you know, adapt those into a board game setting. So I am both anxious and excited to see what they're able to pull off here. You can see they always give you more than enough space in these command boxes, which is nice. And so it all goes back, all nice and tidy-like. This is such a beautiful cover art too. This watercolor rendition of these characters looks really, really cool. And everything closes up all nice and snugly. Okay, I'm gonna end this unboxing video, and I think I'm gonna go play this immediately. I'm gonna get everything punched and start playing it, so be on the lookout for an in-depth review. I have a feeling I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts about this, kind of comparing it to the game and those story beats, and really how well and how faithfully it adapts the game. So if you wanna see any playthrough videos, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know that you enjoyed the unboxing, and if you would like to see any specific boss fights or specific sections of the game that I can kind of go out of my way to try and record. But thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.